We'll call this meeting of the Silver City Town Council to order. Please rise and join us for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
If I could ask Councillor Bettison to read our mission statement, please.
Silver City is the hub of an inclusive community settled within a small town that, through guided growth, honors and preserves its historical, cultural, and natural heritage while facilitating jobs, health, and educational resources such that the residents and visitors may enjoy and protect the recreational opportunities of the area and high quality of life.
Thank you. The next item on the agenda with business is public input. We have one person, and I remind you, you have 5 minutes to speak, and I'll try to give you a 1-minute warning, and that's Mr. Semensky.
Good evening. My name is Walter Szymanski, and I'm a resident of the town of Silver City. And I came forward this evening to say thank you to the town for the work that was done today in clearing up a section of town-owned land on Pinos Altos Creek that abuts the right at the western end of Serena Court. For those of you that are not familiar with that section of town, it's in the northeast quadrant. The town's public works employees did an absolutely terrific job in clearing up that section that was of great concern to the neighbors in that area. And if you go to the end of that town in a cul-de-sac, you'll see that it looks absolutely wonderful. In fact, on the plat map of the town properties, you see where the town owns that. It says town property on it, 2 sections of land there. And underneath that it says park. Well, right now it does look like that little section does look like it will be a park. It's a wonderful little area, and it was a terrific job in that we are one of the neighborhoods that in the past month or so formed ourselves into a neighborhood alliance. And we've had 3 meetings, and at each of those meetings we've had, that area down there at a cul-de-sac at Serena Court has been a topic of concern by the people that have attended those meetings. It was a fire concern, was mainly was the biggest concern. And there's always been concern in that neighborhood to develop that area of town property there into some sort of a park or a path or hiking path or something. And so it looks like we might be on the way to be able to do that. So again, we, on behalf of the Skyview Plus Neighborhood Alliance, we'd like to thank you, the town and the public employees, for the work that they did there today. I also want to thank Councilor Moronis for helping to facilitate that cleanup. He has been also kind enough to attend a couple of our meetings that we've had, the Neighborhood Alliance meetings, and his advice has been very helpful to us, and so we really appreciate, again, what the town did there today. And so thank you very much.
Thank you. Next item on the agenda is council comments. Councillor Moronis, would you like to start?
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'd like to reiterate what Ski just mentioned and thank the town for their hard work. As far as facilitating, it's just passing on to Alex. Alex did the facilitation, and I appreciate that. And thanks for bringing those type of comments to our attention, because it also makes us think about other properties we may have and may need to look at helping reduce fire dangers and such. So it's helpful even as citizens bring those issues to the forefront. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. Councillor Ray?
No comment at this time.
Thank you. Councillor Thompson?
No comments.
Thank you. Councillor Bettison?
Thank you, Mayor. I want to talk about a couple things. I am the town council representative to the dispatch board, and I want to thank the anonymous donor of the $15,000 that was recently done that would be used towards the purchase of a reverse 911 system or the Code Red system that people heard folks talk about. And I want to really assure all the town residents that even prior to the donor coming forward, that the town had already committed to paying its fair share. It was in the budget for next year for the $7,500, about half of the amount, which is the fair share portion, to ensure that there was going to be a reverse 911 system. And I want to really emphasize the fact that this is not just a one-time thing for the town. One way or another, whether it be through grants or through making sure that it's in the budget, the town will always support this financially with its partners to ensure that the system, such as Code Red, is up and running. And I just think it's really important that people know that there won't be a panic to try to find at least the town's fair share portion, but we'll work with our partners to see if we can get grant monies in the future to pay for it. As far as the Code Red system, I was one of the folks that was able to, on the dispatch board, that was given an opportunity to see an online demonstration of it through a meeting to go format, and I was extremely impressed with it. And I'm hoping that, and I'm pretty sure that it will pass on Wednesday, that the dispatch board will go forward with this. I won't be able to attend that meeting, but I've given my proxy to the town manager, Alex Brown, who also sits on the dispatch board, and I mean, everyone in the county, definitely to a person, is interested in making sure that we have a system. And Code Red is more than just reverse 911. I think you may have read about it in the paper. It's a system that will enable the town to let people know if we have a water main rupture, if we have other issues. It can be used for a number of things. It can be used to the schools and also with the university to inform folks and students, for instance, of what's going on. And I think the most important thing is there'll be one central location that is putting out accurate, clear information. It won't be bunches of text from a variety of unknown sources. You will know that you're getting up-to-date, accurate information using this sort of system. And so I just really want to emphasize that the town is looking forward to ensuring that this is available for all of our residents. The second thing I want to talk about is the fireworks. And one of the things I spoke to the mayor about last night was asking our town attorney, Robert Scavron, to draft a resolution that will be presented to the New Mexico Municipal League, to the public safety during the policy meetings next week, that will ask the legislature to provide municipalities with the ability, which is currently not present in state law, but the ability to ban the sale and use of fireworks under severe drought and fire conditions such as what we have right now. So this is a process that municipalities that are members of the league can actually present resolutions of this nature, and hopefully it'll go forward, because many municipalities at this point are hoping for something like this, and hopefully our legislators will hear us. It gives us a bit of a bigger voice. And I appreciate the mayor supporting that, and also the town attorney assisting us with this. He drafts wonderful resolutions, so very complete and complex. I also wanted to briefly ask Alex if he knows anything about when our Highway 180 and Pope Street might be striped again, since I've been getting some questions from residents.
I talked to Peter today, and from his understanding is that the state, well, not the state, but their contractor started the mill and overlay of 180 West coming in from 4 miles out, and they will end at the 180-90 14th Street intersection, and that should take approximately 2 to 3 weeks at the most, I believe. And they have scheduled the striper to come in as soon as that's done, and they will do all of 180, and we have already scheduled to have them strike Pope at the same time.
So everybody just stay in your lane. for now.
Lane for right
If they
now.
presume lane rather than, yeah, there's been a couple of questions about some areas being a little difficult to figure out where you're supposed to be.
Yeah.
So,
So,
and we just want to make sure that those people that ride bikes also know, have that ability to be safe and for the cars to know where they should be too.
yeah, but it should be about 2 to 3 weeks.
Great. Thank you, Alex. That's all, Mayor.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Just want to go over, once again, we have an opening for an alternate on the Grand County Silver City Extraterritorial Subdivision Commission. We need at least one more applicant from in-town for the Parks and Recreation Board. We are advertising for 5 members of the Mayor's Climate Protection Agreement Citizens Advisory Committee, 1 position for the Recycling Advisory Committee, 3 positions for the Museum Board, and 1 position for the Library Board. Encourage people, you can go to the website and see what openings are on there. And I want to discuss briefly the Resolution 2011-19 that was passed by the council at the May 24th meeting. What that resolution does is a restriction. It's not enabling. It is a restriction of banning all fireworks that the town is allowed to ban. We're preempted by the state in what we can ban and what we can't ban. What we did was ban everything that we're allowed to. And additionally, we put restrictions on the use of the ones that cannot be banned. And I believe the fire chief has put restrictions on anything that is open flame or produces an ash, which, if you read between the lines on that, if you're going to light a firework, you're going to violate the town's laws right now and the restrictions, because you're going to have to use a flame or something to produce an ash to light even the ones that we couldn't ban. So we've gone as far as we possibly can. I understand there's a lot of frustration. There's a lot of people that are very concerned about their neighborhoods. We will do everything we possibly can to enforce the rules, but the best thing is compliance, and realize you don't want to live with the memory that you hurt somebody or burned down your neighborhood. So please try to comply with these restrictions. And next thing on the agenda is any changes to the agenda.
No.
Hearing none. Approval of minutes of the regular meeting of the Town Council, May 24th, 2011.
Mr. Mayor,
Councilor.
I move that we approve the minutes of the regular meeting of the Town Council of May 24th, 2011.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to second that.
There's a motion and a second to approve. Any discussion? There's a motion and a second to approve. No discussion. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Next item on the agenda is reports. And first one will be a presentation of the 2011 Parks and Activity Guide and an update from the Chair of the Parks and Recreation Board, Mary Ann Finn. Welcome.
Thank you. My name is Mary Ann Finn, as the mayor just said. I'm the chair of the Parks and Rec Board, and I'm glad to be here tonight to introduce our new Parks and Activity Guide. I know that the council members each have a copy.
Is that microphone on?
Maybe I'm not on it. Is that better?
That's
okay.
fine.
Sorry. We have our new Parks and Rec Guide that came out this year. First year was last year. We have extra copies in the back for any of the public that might want a copy. It has some new things in it this year that we're proud of. The guide for the Quarry Caminos and some recommendations for volunteer opportunities to follow up what the mayor just said. The third to last page, page 22, has recommendations for how you can help Silver City. We welcome the public, input from the public, to make this bigger and better each year. And we hope that more people will see it this year, its second year. The rest of my report, what the Parks and Rec Board does may be of interest to the public and also the council. but we continue to try to aid communication between the public and the town management by having regular meetings with Alex to foster that communication on a monthly basis. We're preparing a list of recommendations for the ICIP process in the fall, and we're continuing to look at how the board can be more effective to the town. We are actually looking for one member, as the mayor mentioned, but we have several members whose terms are coming up at the end of August, so we may actually not have enough members for a quorum at that time. So our job right now is figuring out how the board can still be effective if that happens, and if it doesn't, to figure out where that goes too. The last thing I wanted to bring up, I also gave a copy of the pool brochure, which the Public Works Department has been putting out for several years. One of the reasons this came out, and also the guide that we put together, was that a lot of people don't know what's available in Silver City, and they don't know how to access it. And we wanted to make that more known, more available to people, more used by people, because the more the pool is used, the more upgrades can be done, and other facilities in the town as well. People know about them and use them, then we have more incentive to make them the best they can be. And then the last thing I wanted to talk about is an event coming up this Saturday, which is Jump Into Summer. And it's a family fun day that's being put on by HMS at Goff Park on Saturday from 10 to 2. There'll be a lot of activities, interactive activities for families. It's free, and there will be prizes too. And I hope a lot of people will come out and take advantage of this. And that's my report, so if you have any questions, I'm happy to entertain them.
Thank you. Any questions?
I'd like to comment.
Councilor.
Just like to say that Cindy Neely and Marianne Finn are both, Cindy was the old chair, and the amount of work that these two people do is really impressive. So thank you for the work you guys do.
Thank you.
I think the whole council will concur on that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Brown.
I just want to piggyback a little bit on, I haven't had a chance to talk to Marianne about this, but after our last meeting, we ordered new equipment for Virginia Street Park. So tomorrow they're going to start installing all the new equipment at Virginia Street. And then we're going to be able to upgrade the equipment at Yavara Park as well. And then at the end of these, let's see, in August, we're planning on upgrading Cherry Hills Park. So right there, Cherry Hills Park as well. So I just wanted to let you know about that. I just remembered because Peter and I talked about it today that they were starting tomorrow for Virginia Street.
Next week, I'll get further details then.
Okay.
Thank you.
Other than that, I don't have anything, unless you've got questions.
Questions for Alex? No. Thank you. Robert? Chief?
Council, the only thing I wanted to report on is August 25th, we will have an ISO representative come in and reevaluate the fire department on the ISO rating. It was something totally unexpected, but based on the State Fire Marshal's report about a month ago, it gave us the impression that there's a possibility of us lowering our ISO. So we're gearing up for that. I got to tell you that the last 5 or 6 years, as a department, we have really put a lot of money and emphasis into trying to equip our trucks and the department, hopefully to get us to a lower rating. So cross our fingers, maybe we'll get down to 4 or 3. So anyway, Robert will be playing a big role in that. He's going to have to commit one day to hang out with us because they will be testing and flowing fire hydrants, and hopefully they'll be beneficial.
Thank you.
And I guess for the public's information, the ISO rating is what their fire insurance are based on, right? So the lower the rating, the lower our fire insurance is in Silver City. Right.
Any questions for the chief? Thank you. Any report from the police department? Thank you. Next item on the agenda under new business is approval, disapproval of resolution number 2011-20, a resolution updating and clarifying eligibility for benefits for sworn administrative personnel. Mr. Brown.
Mayor and Council, in 2001, the Town Council approved a resolution that authorized allowed the administrative personnel, the police department other than the chief of police, and at that time the deputy chief, which position we do not have right now, to authorize the captains and lieutenants to maintain almost all the same benefits as the members of the collective bargaining. So basically what this does, at that time they authorized them to have the same benefits as the 1996 contract. What we're doing here is updating it to the 2012 contract and most of the benefits that they get. This would be in line with what we do at the fire department, because the captains and lieutenants at the fire department get the same benefits as the regular personnel.
On the third whereas, it says negotiations have begun.
Oh, this was written before we were finished, so...
Can we just delete the whole whereas?
Yeah, just delete the whole whereas. That'd be okay.
The third one.
Any objections?
No.
Any discussion? Councilor Bedison.
I'm really glad that we're making sure that what union employees receive, right, that's the Officers Association, similar to, like you said, for the fire department, that we're going to be making sure that our sworn personnel, administrative personnel, and our administrators are receiving the same sorts of benefits. What that does is it does make it so it's a sort of a unified, at least from the town's viewpoint, that we're treating everyone equally. So, thank you.
Any other discussion?
No.
Entertain a motion to approve resolution 2011-20 with the deletion of the third whereas.
Mr. Mayor,
Councilor.
I move that we approve resolution number 2011-20, a resolution updating and clarifying eligibility for benefits for sworn administrative personnel, and deleting the third whereas.
Is there a second?
Mr. Mayor,
Councilor Ray.
I'll second it.
There's a motion and a second to approve. Is there any discussion? There's a motion and a second to approve. No further discussion. Roll call, please.
Aye.
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 Motion carries. Next item on the agenda is approval, disapproval of notice of intent ordinance number 1179, an ordinance amending municipal code chapter 52, utilities, by adding a new section 52 through 75, septage and grease waste rates and charges. Mr. Brown.
Mayor, Council, as you remember from our last meeting, I made a recommendation that rather than increase the wastewater fees to city residents on our wastewater system, that we implement new rates, charges for service on services that we are currently providing but are not charging for. And those two services are, one is the collection of the septage from some city residents who are still on septic tanks, as well as county residents, and as well as for the collection of grease, which we collect, we have to dry out, and then we have to turn around and take that to the landfill, which there is a charge to us, but we've never been charging for either one. Previously, the septage wasn't a big issue because before approximately 4 years ago, we couldn't receive very much septage because we didn't have a very big receiving station. And you might remember that when the Baird plant came online, wastewater treatment plant came online, Baird had to stop taking septage. So we received a grant working with the county and the mining district where we were able to expand our septage receiving station, which now requires that we process the septage. So what we're doing is asking to implement a fee of 2.5 cents per gallon for septage, as well as 2.5 cents per gallon for grease. This would generate approximately a little bit over $24,000, which would have been the approximate amount that the wastewater fee increase would have generated had we increased the service for in-town residents. But now we're charging people who have never been charged before for getting something for free. As well as a $100 registration fee. So that way we know who is bringing in the grease, as well as who is bringing in the septage. What that is important for is for two reasons. One, to make sure that we know who we're going to be billing, and two is that there's been a policy that we don't accept septage outside of Grant County, as well as grease, because we've had a lot of companies wanting to come from other counties, even other states, to come and bring their septage and grease to Silver City. So we would prefer that we keep it to Grant County. You know what? Robert just found
We need to move the decimal place 2 over, so it's 2.5 cents. If it was 0.025, there should be a dollar sign in front of it. So either way.
That's what I was wondering, was it?
Yeah.
Yeah,
It was a test. We were seeing who would pick it up there.
That was my only question. That's a heck of a deal there.
yeah, not 2/200ths of a cent, but 2.5 cents.
Okay. Any discussion? Discussion? Entertain a motion.
Mr. Mayor,
Counselor.
I move that we approve notice of intent ordinance number 1179 and ordinance amending municipal code chapter 52 utilities by adding a new section 52-75 septage and grease waste rates and charges, changing appendix A number 2 and number 3 to read 2.5 cents.
Is there a second?
Mr. Mayor, I'll second it.
There's a motion and a second to approve ordinance number 1170, or this is notice of intent ordinance number 1179. Any discussion? There's a motion and a second to approve notice of intent ordinance number 1179. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Entertain a motion.
Mr. Mayor, I move that we adjourn.
There's a motion and a second to adjourn. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. We are adjourned.